Hello, this is Dr. Darleen Claire Wodzenski, and I want to talk a little bit about why I wrote the book, Dead Children Can't Read. A lot of people ask me that question, and the thing I want you to know is the subtitle of the book is Classrooms of Compassion, and the book was written with a lot of energy and with a lot of purpose. The inspiration for the book started shortly after the Sandy Hook shooting. And in my work, these days I work as a clinical provider and a developmental interventionist. We do a lot of advocacy for special needs, Section 504 and IEP planning and advocacy and things like that. But back in those days, I was working as a special educator, and I had a number of clients who had special needs. A lot of them had developmental, behavioral, attachment disorders, things like that. There was a particular day that I was called by a school because a child was self-harming. The child was beating himself on the head with his fist. And so I said, I'll be right there. And I jump in my car and drive to the school and have to go in, check in, and be accompanied back to the principal's office. So the whole way, getting into my car, driving there, parking, walking into the school, signing in at the front desk, and eventually being escorted back, the child had been sitting there beating himself on the head with his fist the whole time. I was outraged. I dropped to my knees and something told me to just count, and I counted, and it took less than 20 seconds for me to calm this child down. 20 seconds. And I don't know how many minutes he had been sitting there beating himself on the head and they didn't do anything to stop it. And that was the night that I thought to myself, we have to do something. These children have to survive. We can't let them be harmed in school because school's overwhelming, because they have emotional, behavioral, and developmental problems. There has to be a way to address them with compassion and love and caring so that they can be happy, healthy, and whole. And then when they're doing better, we can make sure that they learn how to read and write and learn about history and science. But here's the day that I actually put my fingers on the keyboard and started writing the story about Dead Children Can't Read, Classrooms of Compassion. I was serving a child, and I think this was in a clinical role. This was a child who had a severe traumatic brain injury and was very depressed. This is a really sad thing that happens, that sometimes when children have a traumatic brain injury, they're aware. It's really sad. They're aware that they're socially awkward and out of step with everyone else. And it can lead to incredible depression and sadness. And this little girl was running out of the classroom when the teacher would turn his or her back and finding little bits of metal or plastic. Every now and then she might find some broken glass and going in the bathroom and cutting herself, trying to commit suicide. And it was happening on a regular basis. So I went to the school to meet with the administration to say, hey, this is what's happening. I've seen the marks on her body. We have to do something. And they said, it's not our problem. I said, yeah, it is. You need to keep her safe. And they said, oh, no, we have to keep her grades up and we have to keep her on her reading trajectory so she can pass the tests, the standardized tests. And I sat there and I thought, okay, this just is not okay. And before I know it, the words are falling out of my mouth. Well, ma'am, dead children can't read, and that's going to mess up your metrics too. So how about we help her be happy, healthy, and whole? Keep her alive, help her with her depression, help her figure out how to fit in socially so she can be a happy, well-adjusted young adult. And then I promise you that she'll be able to read and pass your tests. And that's the story about why I wrote the story, Dead Children Can't Read, Classrooms of Compassion.